Hey Idle Hero fans, welcome to this video where we're going to be looking at the top 5 Fortress or Blue faction heroes according to my opinion. I don't claim to know everything about this game, but from a bunch of playing and reading, I found these to be the best heroes of the Blue faction. Alright, so kicking it off with number 5, I've put Bleeker here. So I think Bleeker is a pretty decent hero in the Fortress faction, mainly just because of the amount of CC that he brings to the team. So his active ability Lightning deals 120% of attack damage against 4 random enemies and has a 30% chance to stun them for 2 rounds. So that's a 30% chance to stun 4 enemies for 2 rounds, which takes them out for quite a while. So you're going to be stunning sort of 1 to 2 people on average each time you use that ability and completely taking them out for 2 rounds. He's also got a couple of other abilities that help out after hero died. Stuns enemy rear line for a couple rounds, and each attack has a chance to stun for 2 rounds, which is significant because 2 rounds is actually quite a while. It's not just like a single round. It's going to be taking them out for quite a bit. On the downside, his health isn't really that great, so he's not very durable. His base attack is quite high, which is good. But really, I've got him here at number 5 just because I think hard CC is just such a big deal in this game, and if you can get someone stunned for 2 rounds, that is completely taking them out, and he can have really quite a high impact if he pulls off these stuns. So Bleeker at number 5. At number 4, I have got Olem. So I think Olem is the best priest in the Fortress faction, really just because he just puts out a lot of healing. So his active skill deals damage against 2 backline enemies and heals all allies for 80% of attack each round for 3 rounds. So that's going to keep healing them through, I think, at the end of each round. He's also got some other healing as well. His attack has a chance to deal extra damage and heal an ally each round for 3 rounds. It's not as much as his active ability, but it's still pretty good. And while below 30% health, he heals all allies once for 95% of his attack. So that's just quite a lot of healing, and it's really useful. He doesn't have a ton of stuff apart from all that healing, but it can really help you through a lot of PvE scenarios like the Brave Trial and the Aspen Dungeon. I'm not sure how much it's going to help in PvP in the late game, because PvP is so much burst damage that isn't really what he's great for. He's just really good in those PvE scenarios, and I think he's just a solid champ overall. Number 3 in the Fortress faction, we have got Iceblink. So Iceblink is one of my favorite heroes in the game. I've actually got another video on how much I like Iceblink, but it's really kind of similar to Bleeker. He's just got such great CC. His active ability has a 25% chance to freeze all enemies for 2 rounds, while hits everyone and has a chance to freeze each one by 25%. So that's similar to Bleeker, but it's hitting everyone instead of 4. So that's really strong. And again, it's hard CC. Hard CC being something that takes champions out entirely and they can't do anything, compared to soft CC where they can still attack like a silence. And as well as this, he has extra damage to people that he's frozen, but kind of what makes Iceblink a little bit more unique is this ability here, Paralyze. When attacked by an enemy, he reduces their attack and increases his own attack. So this means he can go in slot 1 on your team, and every time he's getting hit, he's going to be buffing himself up and debuffing the enemy, which is a really big swing. So that's one of the great things about Iceblink, is that versatility. He can go tank at the front, or sort of sit somewhere else in your backline, or maybe even slot 2, and just do a lot of damage and CC. He has pretty good survivability as well with his health. It's not the most health, but it's going to be enough to sort of mean he's not getting completely blown up like some heroes sort of can in PvP especially. So I think he's a really great hero, and I've got him here at the 3rd best hero in the Fortress faction. The 2nd best is Flamestrike, and Flamestrike for a long time was potentially the best hero in the game. She's got massive health total, which allows her to survive for a long time, and she does so much damage with Breath of Flame, dealing 94% against all enemies and more damage each round. And the reason why she's so good is these next two: gains attack and skill damage for each killed ally, and whenever an enemy hero dies, gain 14% crit and crit damage. So basically, when anyone is dying on the battlefield, she is getting buffed up. So either on your team or their team. And this synergizes really well with things like Sleepless or Mikhail, because they actually die twice. So if you got one of them in your first slot, or even just another vulnerable spot on the back line, once they die the first time, she gets buffed up with these abilities here, and then they die again, she's going to get buffed up another time. So she just gets so strong and really just like one-shots teams in PvP, and it's really demoralizing if you go up against a really fed flame strike and just get completely destroyed. So she's number 2. For a long time she was number 1, but now, as of the latest patch, I've got Sigmund here at the top hero in the Fortress faction. I actually haven't tested him out myself because I haven't pulled him, which is really sad, but just looking at all his numbers and looking at all his skills, it's actually just crazy how much damage he's been doing. So he's got a bit of a wall of text on a few of his skills, but his first active Flame Bombardment deals damage against 3 random enemies, reducing their armor and burns. And this burn mechanic is really where all his damage is coming from. So he's gonna burn people and do damage over time. And his other abilities are also gonna be burning them over time. And then he's just got increasing his armor and attack and HP, and a counter attack which counterattacks people with lower armor than himself. But he's got massive armor, so that's really gonna be almost everyone, I believe. On top of that, he's got amazing health and pretty good base attack as well. And his burn damage has just been destroying in long fights like the Guild Raid and Marauders, and he's just been completely eclipsing people. Even of people of a higher star rank, he's still been crushing them. I'm honestly not entirely sure how he goes in PvP. Maybe he doesn't, he's not as good as Flamestrike in PvP, but I'm not quite sure yet. Let me know in the comment section what you think, because I think nudging Flamestrike out of the top spot is kind of contentious right now, and maybe he's going to get nerfed sometime in the future. But until that happens, I think he's just such a strong hero, and I really want to pull him. So that sort of caps off this video. The noticeable heroes that I didn't include that some of you might have been waiting for were, I think Mickey's a pretty solid hero. She used to have a lot of dodge and really just be constantly dodging attacks and prove a really good hero in your first slot. I haven't got her in there because she was nerfed, so she's not as good now, and also she doesn't really have CC to sort of contribute to the teams like Bleeker or Iceblink. But she's still a really solid hero, and you should use her if you have her. Another solid hero is Emily, who didn't make it in either, but she has this interesting mechanic of buffing speed, which is kind of more unique because not too many heroes are buffing speed. So if you have a sort of combo that you're trying to get off really quickly in PvP, maybe to beat out your opponent before they can sort of do anything, she could really fit into that slot. But Emily and Mickey are kind of niche heroes, so I haven't sort of put them in the top 5, where I had Bleeker at 5, then Ormus, Iceblink, Flamestrike, and Sigmund finally. Oh. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope this helped you learn a little bit more about at least what I think are the strongest heroes in the Fortress faction. If you disagreed, or you think someone else should have been there, or you think they're in the wrong order, let me know in the comment section below, or even if you just like this kind of video so I can make more in the future. But thanks for watching, guys. Hope you have a great day. Cheers.